Hello, everybody. How the heck you doing this fine day? Steve Dotto here, and I want to welcome you to our weekly Gray Matters unscripted live stream. It's another day in paradise as we're all dealing with the COVID shutdown and just been, boy, oh boy, just working our butts off at home. April, how the heck you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Whoops, there's background noise.
I'm doing pretty well. Here in BC, where I live, the government has announced that next weekend we are allowed to what's called expand our bubble, which means
that's exciting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not talking, I hear a lot of the news, everybody's talking about the businesses reopening, and they are certainly talking about that, our leadership here, but they seem to be more focused on our socialization. And so they're talking about it when we can start to invite family over for dinner, and we can have friends over to play cards, but they only want us to increase our social circles to 60% of what it was before. So there's going to be kind of an inner circle of people that you can associate with.
Yeah.
And the businesses being opened there's a lot less, it seems to be a lot less emphasis on that. Maybe that's just because I'm lonely and I miss my family that we're noticing that I'm paying attention to that. But that's kind of what's happening here. That's kind of what the news is here. So we're excited about that, being able to have barbecues and stuff like that again. So that will be.
They're not talking like that. I mean, I think in some parts of the U.S. but here in Connecticut, they are the 18th. Some stores are going to be able to open, so like nail salons, but there's very big criteria. But we got official word that our schools are shut down for the rest of the year. So that we do know. So that's kind of, although we knew it was coming, disappointing, but it's nice to have closure.
We thought that was the case too, but then they're saying that they might be opening the schools for some things coming up in as soon as next month, as soon as June. So there'll be a month where the kids can sometimes be in school. And Shannon, being a teacher, is like, well, you don't know what's going on, and all the parents are asking questions. So there's still lots of confusion. But at any rate, we are thrilled you folks are joining us today. A little diversion in the week, a way to finish up the week on a Friday. So I see Max here and little Linda, and I see Art. Lots of people on YouTube watching us. Dale on YouTube and Mike on YouTube. But Faith is there in Facebook, and so is Natalie. It's good to see familiar faces. Landon's here in YouTube. So a big hello to all of you. So here's the topic. Here's what we're going to talk about today is kind of my favorite content tools. The tools that I use to create, what we use here to create content. And one of the things that I've kind of come to realize is for a tiny team, we create a ton of content.
There's definitely a ton of content, without a doubt.
We really do. And I'm thinking, I think the tools that we choose and how we use the tools has a lot to do with how we create how much content we can create. That's a part of it. I mean, also having a really effective team, having good systems in place, and a good pipeline for ideas in place. All of those things help a lot. But it's also the tools. So I thought I'd share the tools, and looking forward to hearing the ones that you guys like and what you feel, hearing some feedback from you as well. So that's going to be our topic today. Isn't that exciting? It is
exciting.
Good stuff. Hi, Nicole from Fort St. John, and Barry's here from Red Deer. We got lots of Canadians on with us today. That's a good thing. Lauren Ferguson's here, and Robert McKenzie all the way from London, Ontario. That's Bob from London, Ontario. That's just talking to my son back in Toronto. It's cold back east still. Guess how warm it's going to be here today?
How warm?
You're not going to know. You're going to need math to figure out. It's going to be 25. It's going to be in mid-20s.
That's terrible. What do you mean? Am I not a mathematician?
Okay, how warm is it? It's going to be in the mid-20s. What's that translate into?
That's like 60s, right?
No.
No?
Double it and add 32.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, do it. Double it and add 32.
So you got 40, right? 40.
I said it's going to be in the mid-20s.
72. So it's going to be in the 70s.
82.
82.
You failed. You just failed. In front of hundreds of our friends on YouTube, dozens of our friends on Facebook. It was just like, April and math. Sorry.
And we're actually getting snow tonight. That's the prediction.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. It's crazy, but it's supposed to be cold in the 40s tomorrow, where the other day it was beautiful.
Okay.
So,
well, that's That's deeply disturbing. So where is my thing here? There it is. That's what I'm looking for. So here it is. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. My top five content tools. Are you guys ready? We should have a drum roll. We should have a music effect. And I'm going to, here's my number 5. And I think everybody might be a little bit surprised at this one. I don't know. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. But it is Bitmoji.
Oh. I'm surprised that's the first one you're sharing, actually.
Well, I'm counting back from my 5th most useful to my top most useful. Okay, so this is countdown. This is a countdown. Number 5 is Bitmoji.
Love it.
Why are you surprised?
No, I mean, kind of actually, but I know that you like it. I know that you get a kick out of it. It's kind of one of your little I don't know. Every time you post one of those, in the back of my head, I can hear you going because you think it's funny. So.
I do, because I get far too much entertainment value out of Bitmoji. So just for those of you that don't know, Bitmoji comes from our friends at Snapchat, and it's a little app that you load onto your phone, and then you go through and you basically create a likeness of yourself. So you actually have to go through it and you have to modify the character. Now, to be fair, I didn't do my Bitmoji, and I've got a strong Bitmoji game, but Sophie, Shannon's daughter, did it. And now I think she was like 15 or 16 at the time when she did my Bitmoji, and she just has a gift. I think the younger you are, the more you can have a gift. Sorry?
They're cute. She does a good job.
Oh, she does. She's done a great job on my Bitmoji. Although I was looking at my Bitmoji and I'm thinking about editing it right now because I have to change the coat for COVID hair because my hair is getting so much bigger. But you can just go in and you can actually edit the hair and modify the hair, and you can do all those sorts of things. But here's one of the reasons that I love it so much. Is why it's worked so well for me. Is it sparks ideas. One of the big challenges content creators have is writer's block. If you create a lot of content, just figuring out what you want to say and how you want to say it is sometimes difficult. So, but sometimes it's just a title. If you have a title and you go, oh, I could write some content on that, or a line, you hang a piece of content on lots of different things. And I find that, especially as I'm doing presentations, as I'm doing because you guys notice if you ever attend Webinar Wednesday these days, I use the Bitmoji a lot to just create a little accent on the slides that adds a little bit of energy. But as a content creator, it allows me to insert a little bit of personality and a little bit of energy and usually a little bit of humor in the content that makes it more, it greases the skids. It makes it easier to create the content. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes a big difference for me.
It does. So, well, I think it breaks up. So when you're doing trainings and stuff and people are consuming content and, kind of processing it, it just kind of is a nice little segue into a breather. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So Titania says she's just started playing with Mirror. It's a lot like Bitmoji. Yeah, there's a few products out there that work for you. Now, Bitmoji will install as a keyboard on your computer, on your phone, but it installs as a Chrome extension in Chrome. So I can, anytime that I just have to go to my browser and I can peruse through and look through. I wonder if I can show that. Let me just show that. I will show that to you. Here's my screen again. Let me go to the Bitmoji screen here. And can you see my, can you see here? I'm not too sure everybody can see it, but can you see here the pop down? Is that showing, April?
I'm not seeing it. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is the Chrome extension. So you can type in words.
No, I'm sorry. We can't see the Chrome extension. No.
Oh, okay. I wasn't too sure if it would show it or not. That's too bad. That's too bad. But yeah, so that gives us an idea that at any rate, it installs as a Chrome extension. And that then allows me to quickly just kind of find it. And then you can copy and paste it. I copy and paste it into lots of other things. So that is, so that's my number 5. My number 5.
Like it.
Yeah, I do. I thought you would. I did. Okay, I gotta get away. There, number 4. I have to find my. I've done all these special slides for it. Ready? Number 4. This might not be a surprise to anybody. It is Evernote. My number 5 is Evernote, without a doubt. And Evernote to me, still, as a content creator. What's that?
I said that's definitely not a surprise.
Because again, you need to be able to just constantly capture ideas. I think the biggest thing that content create, as I say, the biggest roadblock content creators have is writer's block, and having a source, having a place where ideas can live and can germinate. Basically you plant all these seeds and over time they evolve into real ideas, and you need one place. And a lot of us will tend to use our content delivery tools to store these ideas. If you're a blogger, you might have a whole bunch of different documents that you started to create with pieces of blogs. But the problem is that it becomes very fractured and you have to look through a lot. Just asset management becomes an issue. So when you're in that embryonic stage of just gathering ideas, nothing's better than Evernote. And the reason nothing's better than Evernote is the Evernote web clipper. The fact that with the Evernote web clipper, anytime you go to see any idea at all, most ideas come to you through your computer screen. Most ideas come to you through your web browser or through an email. And so all you do is you click on the Evernote web clipper, you capture that idea, you can create a tag or you can put it in a notebook of ideas. But then as you are getting into production mode and you're saying, oh, we have to plan out what next week's video is or what next month's video is or what next month's podcast is. I got no ideas. Let me look. And so you start working your way through your list of videos, your list of ideas, and something will pop up. The other thing that I do is I'm constantly in that list and I'm constantly adding research. So I'll open, and I'm not sure this is the most efficient way to create content, but it must be because we create a lot. But I go into it and I will just be inspired briefly by an idea. I'll add notes to it. I'll maybe write a little bit of an intro for it. I'll do a little bit more research and find a few other documents that I attach to it. And then I'll get bored with it. And I'll go, I'm not quite ready to commit yet. I think I'm going to put you back in the kind of let you. So I let it grow a little bit more and I put it away. But the thing is that now anytime you see anything related to that note's kind of there in the back of your mind. And then you'll see another person ask a question in YouTube about it, or you'll hear a comment about it, or you'll be talking to a friend, and it will then pop up again. You'll go, oh, and then you revisit your note just to see where you are. And I can never remember how much research I've done on things. Sometimes I open a note and I'm going, holy cow, that's like ready to publish. How did I do so much work on that and forget about it? But I'm not sure it's the beauty of it, but that's the process. That's what Evernote will give you. It gives you that place.
So now, do you have your web clipper attached to all your tools? So like when you're on your iPad, or if you're like Rocketbook just imports it into Evernote, correct?
Yeah, well, Rocketbook's a note-taking app, and you can import notes into it, yes. But one of the big changes with Evernote is they used to have the web clipper for your phone, but now they don't anymore. That's because Apple's sharing on the iPhone is far more robust. And when you find a document that you like or a website that you like, you can just share it to Evernote, and it does the same job as the Evernote web clipper mostly. It doesn't allow you to select a section of the document the way you can in the Evernote web clipper, but it does work really well from that perspective. So yeah, I send stuff from my phone all the time. When I'm in the morning and I'm reading news, like I often read the news in my bed, and when I get to the technical news, there's always different stories about Zoom right now or something else. And if there's one that I think is good research that I want to lift, I basically crib stuff from everything everybody else has created. I will just send that to Evernote and use it. Andre is mentioning another product which is right in the same realm, which is Pocket, which Pocket's an interesting product. Pocket began its life. It's again a consolidation tool where you take everything that you want to read and you pull it into the Pocket app. A Pocket, though, kind of entrenched itself in the community back in the day before we had data on our phones, or a lot of data on our phones. And what Pocket would allow you to do is allow you to capture information that you wanted to read later, and it would store it on your phone or store it in a mobile app that you could then read when you didn't have an internet connection. So like when you're on a plane, you could be reading a document, that sort of stuff. So it allowed you to offline access to content that you were getting online. And now it's evolved since into much more of a clipper. But he is using it to read stuff. And then if he wants to, so he's using it as triage and reading through it. And then if he likes it, he's sending that content through to Evernote or something that he wants permanent access to, which is great. Tim Pigel is right. OneNote also has a web clipper. It's not quite as robust. The Evernote web clipper is the one that all others should be judged by. But it's still really good. Dave gave you this. Okay.
I know, with the formula.
It's complete. So I was a little bit, she was closer in the 70s. I said it was going to be 80s. Okay, 70s. So Dave gave us the complete, make note of this. This will be in the test. Okay.
I know. I'm terrible. Terrible. It's awful.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dave. Fanny Pack Atkinson. I want to ask, but I'm not going to. JC uses Apple Notes for the same thing. We all great. You know, it doesn't matter what tool you use, as long as you have a system of when an interesting piece of information that you want to store comes by, that you have a way of capturing it, and that you have a system for retrieving it afterwards. You know, that's why I always talk about, when I talk about Evernote, one of the key kind of the turns of phrase I have, it gives me access to what I need, where I need it, when I need it. So it's all about making sure that you have access to it when and where you need it.
I don't know if you saw RB saying, have you tried the tools that WeTransfer has come out with?
No, what are they?
I don't know. To check them out.
Okay,
Elizabeth saying
when I go there. Oh, and yes, Notion is also, Notion has a decent web clipper. They're a little bit late to the game, but Notion, if you are interested in, you know, it's another option. Again, it's kind of a building block tool where you kind of put together your own thing. So, and it's also what you've used. It's what you're comfortable with. I've been using Evernote now for 8 years. And so I keep coming back to it. Even though I dabble with all of the other tools, Evernote definitely is the one that I come back to time and time again. Can you transfer notes between Evernote and OneNote? I'm new to both programs. No, you wouldn't. You choose one or the other. If you live in the Windows ecosystem, if you like use Microsoft 365 and that sort of stuff, I would definitely, or Office 365, excuse me, I would definitely choose OneNote. It's a great product. But if you live in the Apple ecosystem or the Google ecosystem, then Evernote becomes a viable option. But so is Google's Keep. That's another option for a very much more stripped down and streamlined version of a note-taking app, as somebody mentioned, Apple Notes on the Apple side.
I'm a huge Apple Note girl. So
are you?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I use it for everything.
Very cool. So you ready for 3? Are we ready for number 3?
I am. The one thing I did want to, Faith was surprised that Evernote was only your number 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll see why. You'll see why. It gets more and more granular, and it gets more and more down to my specific system. So number 3 is our friends at InVideo. InVideo has become a product that we're really starting to like here for a variety of different reasons. But InVideo is, let me just jump over and let me screen share. Actually, I have to do it this way here. Get rid of that. And there, I'll do it again. InVideo is a tool which is a video editing app, but it's not a video editing app like where you create like full-blown videos. Although I think you can. Is that it?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. But it's not really designed for that specifically. InVideo is a tool that's really designed. I'm not at the homepage. Why am I not at the homepage? Here we go. All right. Okay. Where InVideo, why it's important for us for content creation is when I create a great piece of content, when we create a great piece of content, one of our jobs is to shine a light on that content. This is something that so many people miss. We work hard on creating a blog post. We work hard on creating a nice video, and we publish it. And then we hope that the Google or the YouTube gods are going to send us tons of traffic because we worked so hard on creating a really compelling and good piece of content. We worked hard. We crafted a good piece of content. But that's not how it works. Content's like an iceberg. Your content creation is the tip of the iceberg. It's what you see. The success of that content is how well you promote it. And you've got to take that responsibility on for yourself. You've got to go out there and you've got to share that content into as many platforms and get that content before as many eyeballs as you can if you're going to serve your community well, and you're going to serve your content well that you've created. So what I love about InVideo is I've never seen a product that's as easy to create little promotional videos quickly that look great, that allow us to share our content in a different way into multiple platforms. For example, our YouTube videos don't resonate well on Instagram. There's no way for me in my limited imagination to figure out how to translate what we do in our video into Instagram. But Liz does is she takes the videos that I create, she tells a little story around that video with some still images, some photos, maybe a little clip of the video, and she builds it in the templates in InVideo. And then that's what we publish to Instagram or to Twitter. And it allows us to really take our content and share it out far more effectively than we ever could before. But the key to this product is it has not only templates, but when you go to buy it, when you go to take a look at the pricing, they include in the business version of $10 a month. There's a free version you can try out, but they include things like a huge media clip art library from, where's it from? It's from
I feel like it's Pixabay.
yeah, I mean, and they've got photos that you can download from Shutterdesk. They've got like 1 million premium photos and videos clips that you can use. So they've got a lot of B-roll and clip art and clip images that you can use. Plus the editor itself is really good. And when you create a little tutorial, when you create a little piece of content, they've got tools that will allow you reformat it for different applications.
Do you have, do you have another slide showing something in InVideo? Because all we're seeing is the orange slide.
Oh,
yeah, it hasn't moved forward. So just to let you know,
that's my bad. That's my bad because I didn't
you were
do
talking,
this. I was scrolling through. Just let me fix it. Let me fix it. I can fix this.
He was really excited about it.
There it is. Okay, there it is. See, I've got the. Now you can see the slide. Oh, Steve. What a disappointment.
That's okay.
I know. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so here's the InVideo. So if we go back, this is what their homepage looks like. So you can see they create calendars, video ads, promotional videos, intros, bumpers, slideshows. You can do all of that kind of stuff. And they've got all these templates that you can use, you can load, and you can use as a basis for whatever it is the content you're creating, and you can slide your own images in. So they've got all these narratives that are built for you already on the fly. And there's new ones coming out every month. And then when you go into the pricing and you take a look at what you get, as I mentioned, you get all of the different templates, but you also get access to clip art and clip media, which is just huge. I mean, they're $10 a month
our
plan.
Affiliate in there with the 60% promo. So it's really, I put our link with the 60% off.
Yeah, so you get even more off with our plan here. But if you use our link, by the way, that is an affiliate link if you use our link. So yes, please use it. But that's the product. So this is one that, to me, as far as my content mix goes, it's InVideo has become, even though I don't end up using it all the time myself, I see what a difference it makes for us in our social marketing and in our sharing of content.
And Diane actually described it pretty well. InVideo is like Canva for videos.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because I believe Canva will be coming up.
There is some questions before do you mind if we ask some questions before we go to the next one? So Natalie was saying, how do you decide where you do your research reading, what websites you go to?
That's a good question. I think a lot of it's just by habit. I go to the same places over and over again. I got to tell you, a lot of it just comes from straight up search. That when in conversations that I have with other friends or because of a need on a project, or most often comments that happen in our YouTube channel where people have commented on something and asked me a question about something, I end up starting to do research, and I'll just search for that content and do research. I've kind of modified my Google News feed to kind of the stories that I like to read, and I let Google serve me a lot of the news that I get. So it kind of comes from that combination of that, my own subscription feed the only subscriptions that I follow religiously are, I've got some YouTube creators that I follow, that I watch. I've got podcasts that I listen to on regular basis, and then I just check out the Google News feed. Is where that comes from. Everything else really comes from search.
I think one of the biggest things you just said there was that you listen to what your audience is, what they're saying, some of those things in the research, because I think that's the best type of thing for giving back content, right? Back to your community.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
taking that and translating it into like Zoom, right? That's kind of what happened. So you have
Oh,
this, you listened to the community, there was a need for it, and then you dove deeper into the content, learning more and more about Zoom to be able to share it with others.
I mean, that is a great example. I mean, and we're in a crisis moment, and out of crisis comes opportunity. There's no doubt about that. And we just happen to be really lucky. For those of you that don't know, on our main YouTube channel, not the one you're watching here, the Steve Dotto channel, but on the Dotto Tech channel, we've had an explosion of subscribers and views over the last month, 6 weeks, primarily on the back of us doing some videos on Zoom. But what had happened with that was we'd established Dottotech's got great channel authority. It's well, YouTube recognizes that people respect the channel and value the content. I know I sound like I'm patting myself on the back, but we built that up over time. We've managed our reputation well. So we happen to have released a video just at the beginning of the pandemic on how to use Zoom for teachers. And I used my wife as a teacher, and she helped me create the video because we thought teachers were going to want to know. And we just kind of put it together. We did a good job on it, but it took off. For some reason, it started getting recommended and promoted. And for us, it became viral. It's about 500,000 views in the first month. And so that's a lot of views for a Dottotech video, but that dragged along the entire channel. And then the rest of the stuff all of the other videos, which have all done well along Zoom, came because we were being so informed by the questions from the community. And that was just a perfect storm. It worked out really well. Look at that. Tech Man used to watch us on TV. Good stuff. Yeah. Years and years ago. Indeed.
All right. So then Jessica actually had a it was a two-part question here. Do you know of a patronage platform that's not operated by hipsters? I'm not.
Oh, Jessica, you obviously made me laugh. Yeah, continue. Let's hear the second part before I.
The second part was, do you know how to rescue Word 2013 from an upgrade, quote unquote, to Windows 10 without? I guess her Word is opening only to immediately crash.
I'm not a Windows expert. I can't help you with the Windows side stuff. As far as a patronage platform that's not operated by hipsters, I don't know of anything that's doing quite the way Patreon is. And she's referring to Patreon, which is definitely founded by hipsters. But I don't know of anything else. Now, I'm curious as to what the issue you have with Patreon. Are you a creator, and why? Because we've had a good experience. Now, I know everybody hasn't had a good experience with Patreon, but it's been a really enriching experience for us. We've really enjoyed it. Now, in the past, occasionally Patreon has pissed me off occasionally with some decisions they made. They are definitely a company which kind of flies a little bit by the seat of their pants. But really, we haven't had any issues in the last 18 months. I think they learned their lesson from the kind of the early backlash that they faced. So I'd love to know a little bit more about what issues you're having. The only other way to do it is to do it yourself. You could use a Thinkific. You could use a, what's the one that we were looking at? Mighty Networks. You can build your own community where people can support you. But it's at that point it's going to be a membership site of some sort. You're going to be building a membership site. And you can do many of the same things, but you're not going to have quite the same warm and fuzzies. The whole idea behind Patreon, the reason people feel so comfortable with it in Patreon, is you feel that you're supporting rather than purchasing. When you set up a membership site, people are buying from you. With something like Patreon, you feel like they're supporting you. This is, by the way, a great time for us to mention that all of our content is brought to you through the support of all of our patrons at Patreon.
Yes.
And so a great big shout out. I know many of you are online with us right now, so thank you so much for your support. If you guys want to know more about it, dottotech.com/Patreon is where you go. Your support allows us to create the kind of free content that we're creating here. Plus, we also do Webinar Wednesdays. I don't know how many of you join us for Webinar Wednesdays, but I recognize a lot of faces here, or a lot of names. We do a weekly tutorial webinar free of charge each and every week. And now there's 130 of those webinars. But after we deliver the webinar, it's made available for 48 hours, and then it's archived for the benefit of our patrons. And so that's one of the big bonuses. Actually, you know what we should do, April? I'm going to get you to find the link to the replay from this week's Webinar Wednesday because it's still
Okay.
available.
Yep.
Let's share that later because I am going to talk right now about our number 2,
All right.
which you already know what's coming. My number 2 favorite is Canva, which was just mentioned. Canva is the still version of InVideo, but on steroids. Canva has become such a great graphics creation tool. Now, for those of you who haven't used Canva before, let me just jump. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to go close that. I want to screen share this. I got to get smoother at this, but I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing okay. I have to find the Canva one.
Link here for you guys.
Just a sec. There it is. This is Canva. So this is actually our Canva account here that you see here. So Canva, you can all see that, right? Good.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you want to go down further
Yeah,
so now they can see a little bit.
So
Yeah,
Canva allows you to create simple graphics, again, based on templates. They've got a lot of free content. Now, we do have a paid account. We do pay for Canva. It's not very much money. I think it's $10 or $15 a month that we pay for it. But into Canva, we have these folders that have all of the different templates for all of our content. So you saw today, where's the thumbnail that we used for today is in Gray Matters Unscripted. So here is Liz created all of these different templates for me, and they have a whole bunch themselves, so you don't have to create them all from scratch. But here's all the different templates that I have that when I go to do a new Gray Matters Unscripted, I don't have to send a task to Liz saying, can you create a thumbnail for me for Gray Matters Unscripted next week? We're going to be talking about, I don't know, we're going to be talking about Evernote. And no, I just have to go in and I have to choose which one I want to use because she's given me a whole bunch. And I just change the title, change the date, download it. So you have a download there. And then I can share it in every social platform that I want. And we use Canva for all of our graphics. You see here we have folders. Again, we create so much content. You want to see our YouTube videos? Here's our YouTube thumbnails. These are the thumbnails from all of our different YouTube videos. There's only one there. Why is there only one there? I don't know. At any rate, you want to see a bunch of pictures of Steve? There's some pictures of Steve. You want more pictures of Steve? You need a picture of Steve for almost anything. You got pictures of Steve coming out of the wazoo. You want Steve with a hat? There's Steve with a hat. There we go. We've got so any graphic that we create, I realize just how egotistical that last few moments probably seems to everybody, but you get the idea.
Yeah, we have a lot of pictures of Steve. That's for sure. But Canva is great, and it's nice because I mean, we can all collaborate and make date changes, and I mean, we're very lucky because Liz is she's an amazing designer, so she makes these graphics and she makes it easy for the rest of us. The rest of us.
Now, Canva is, we actually featured Canva this week on Webinar Wednesday, and so the replay is still available. So if you haven't joined us for a Webinar Wednesday before, or you are now intrigued by Canva a little bit more, Liz did an amazing tutorial. It's about a 30-minute tutorial in the middle of this webinar that April shared with you here in the link. So you can go and you can watch it, have a look. And if you like what you see on Webinar Wednesday, join us next week because the other team member of Dotto Tech that's not Steve, that we don't have lots of pictures of, is April, who's going to be sharing. You're going to be talking about Zapier next week and automating systems.
It should be good. I'm excited for it.
Indeed. So do we have any questions or should I?
So Jessica just was kind of following up from, she is, what did she say? She's a creator. So
there it is.
Don't like her. But she's, so that was a follow-up. Lorna said she's been recommending your Zoom video series to everybody. Is InVideo not a PC product, but you're going online to capture that? It's in a browser, right?
Sorry, say again.
So Alfonso was saying InVideo not a PC product, but you can use that anywhere on it. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not an application. It lives in your browser. It's a browser-based tool. So in the Edge browser or Chrome, you just go to the URL that we gave you and you can try it out. Yeah, no, it's not a downloaded product. It's a browser, which is one of the reasons that as it's great for doing snippets of video, but for doing featured videos and longer videos, you're going to want a proper video editing tool, a more dedicated one, which brings us to my number one product. Let's get over to that right now, because my number one most favoritist ever product, which we've actually built Autotech completely on, is Screenflow.
Oh.
Screenflow is the tool that I use that I could not be without. It is just an excellent screen capture tool, video tool. Now, let me explain to you guys what screencasting is. Sorry, I just gotta get back to us here. Just a minute. I have messed up, not terribly. See, just a little bit. Screenflow. Yeah, here, let me share the screen with you. Screenflow screencasting is a technique of creating video where your computer screen becomes a character in the video you create. So typical video recording and video editing software will allow you to record or bring in content from a camera. You edit it, you mix in graphics, you mix in audio, and you pull it all together on a series of timelines on a timeline, and you edit it all together and you export a video. Screencasting software does that. It's the exact same. It does that exactly, except when you're recording your video, it also records what happens on your computer screen at the same time. By recording what happens on your computer screen and treating it as a character in the video or as a timeline in the video, you can then do moves on it. So I can zoom in, I can zoom out, I can make it smaller or bigger, I can layer it so that my face is in front of the content that we're promoting, or we can draw an arrow to a point, or we can zoom right in on a menu. So it allows us to do tutorial videos far more effectively than if you just had a big wide computer screen. And even though you could do those sort of editing moves in a traditional editing tool, screencasting software is designed for you to do that stuff instantly and easily. So let me just share screen just briefly one more time.
And do you want to just clarify, Screenflow is only for Mac users, correct?
Yes, Screenflow is only a Mac product. However, if you are a Windows user, Canva is a very, very, very similar product. It costs a little bit more, but Canva will do the same thing. Screenflow you can get for like $129 to $200. The $200 super pack includes a whole bunch of clip video and clip audios, the kind of clip media that we're talking about that you have, that we have, say, in InVideo. So that's so this one though, we could not have built our channel without a great piece of screencasting software. And that Screenflow is that. It is the tool that we use, that I use to create all of our videos. And we'd be lost without it. I'd be lost without it. I wouldn't know what to do. It's I can't speak highly enough of it. When there's one piece of technology that you learn it and then you actually build an entire business on the back of, that's Screenflow for me. That's Screenflow for me. So Lauren says, this week I've been experimenting with Screencast-O-Matic and Loom. Loom is glitchy on the desktop, but the Chrome extension seems to work best. It's funny, Linda, I've had the exact opposite with Loom. I found that the Chrome extension was a little bit geeky or glitchy, and the desktop worked better. Screencast-O-Matic. So what we're talking about here are screencasting tools, which are browser-based. And we just did a video on Loom on our channel because I think it's excellent for teachers. I reduced the resolution of my screen to see them larger, and I have a high-res one, and it's going to be this is going to be a what is it? They seem to be saying that I have to reduce the resolution of my screen for them to see larger. Yeah, so it's going to record the screen exactly as it sees it. So if you have a very high resolution screen, everything's going to be quite small and tight. And if you want things to be larger, you're going to have to either zoom in, find a way to zoom in. And again, a tool like Loom doesn't facilitate that very easily. And I'm not sure if Screencast-O-Matic does, but that's one place that Screenflow does. Allows you to zoom in and be able to really feature things. So if you are going to be doing a lot of screencast video, you're going to be, I think it's going to be worthwhile you're having a look at Canva if you're on Windows, or Screenflow if you're on the Mac.
No, Camtasia.
What did I say? Canva. Camtasia. You're right.
I was just going to let you know it's Camtasia for PC, but you can use Camtasia on PC and Mac as well.
Yes, you can. Hiker says, it sounds like Screenflow is not a tool that you can use during a live broadcast. No, you can't, with a caveat. when we create our tutorial videos or our webinars, I record a screencast of the demo, which you will see. Actually, Liz did that in the one, if you watch the one that you watched that we just dropped for you from this week. And we create that very quickly and effectively, and then we upload that video, and then we use it in the live broadcast. So you can create B-roll for your live webinar or your live broadcast using Screenflow. Do that all the time, but you can't use it on the fly. You can use the results of it, as I said. So there it is. Yes, number 1, number 2, Canva, number 3, InVideo, number 4, Evernote. Number 5 was Bitmoji, Christian. Bitmoji.
Bitmoji.
Yes. Thank you, Yvonne. Yeah, I misspoke. I did that in a video the other day as I misspoke a couple of times, and boy, oh boy, people notice.
They do.
Yeah.
All right. So
you
then
have to use Camtasia. Yeah, you'll have to take a look at it, but it's expensive. That's the thing, is it's not a cheap program, but if you master it, you've got a real powerhouse behind you, and you are not going to be limited in any way. There you go. Yeah. Go ahead.
So Lorna was just saying you can use Zoom, which you can, but you need to edit it somewhere else.
Yeah, Loom you can do basic. Loom you can only do
Zoom,
trimming. You
Zoom.
can Zoom.
Zoom.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there's too many ooms.
Steve has put out a ton of content this week. So it's Friday. Like you know, it's okay. Like, I mean, when I tell you how much content and how many content meetings that have been this week, I think his head is spinning. So
my head is spinning.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this. This is good.
It is, yeah.
So Zoom, here's a way to create videos using Zoom. You can, if you just use even the free version of Zoom, start a meeting by yourself. Don't invite anybody in, but just start a meeting, and don't invite anybody in the meeting. Then click on the record. And if you don't see the record option in Zoom when you start it, you have to go into preferences beforehand. When you're in the browser setting up your account, there's a preferences panel or settings. You click on that, and there's little toggles that allow you to turn on and off the menu items in the bottom. So if there's anything that we've shown you in any of our videos that you don't see there, just turn on that toggle. But you got to go into the settings and do it. Then record the video, and you'll record it. And when you finish the demo or whatever you're talking about, Zoom will say, I'm going to process this, so I'm going to save it to your desktop, and it saves it in a folder in your documents folder. And then you can open it up, and you've got a WM4 a media a QuickTime basically file that you can then edit in another editor. If you're on a Mac, you can use QuickTime, or you can use what's the free one called? I've lost the name of it. iMovie. You can use iMovie. Yeah. You can use Screenflow. You can use Windows Media Editor. You can use any video editor you want. But the cool thing is that if you're doing that Zoom video, then is you can use all of the other features in Zoom as you do it. So if you need to screen share a slideshow, and it will then all roll it in, so you don't have to add it later. If you open a whiteboard and you start doing some illustration, it's going to capture all of that as well. So that's a really kind of a cheap way to MacGyver your own recording software so that you can record a presentation. Ginger's asking, bit late to the show, is Screenflow something you use in place of Ecamm or StreamYard? No, you would use it in conjunction with. So Ecamm and StreamYard are live streaming tools where we take our feed, where we take our video, and we present it live to Facebook Live or YouTube Live like we're doing right now. So we're using those tools right now. Screenflow, you can prepare videos that you then insert into the live streams before, or you share on YouTube or in some other, or on Facebook or some other way. But you create packaged videos that are completed that you then share. So that's the difference there.
So I just some people are having, I put in the InVideo discount. You get the discount when you use the link, but in YouTube, it's not making it, you're going to have to copy and paste it into a browser. Sorry, it's just not letting me.
Oh yeah, because we're not
auto tech. So, but the link is there. You're just going to copy and paste that link into the browser to get the 60% off.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes, indeed. Dave is on top of me. iMovie, as my brain starts to slowly move into.
Tatiana's asking, can you please share what you use to run your live broadcasts? What are you using right now as a switcher that allows branding side by side? of Steve and April and highlight of the comments. And somebody was asking kind of to piggyback on that, like StreamYard and Ecamm, kind of the difference between the two.
So we're using right now a web-based tool called StreamYard, which we have a license for. We're not using the free version. We're using the paid version. And I'm really impressed with it. StreamYard has really captured my attention. Because it's so easy to use, and we're still kind of figuring out a lot of the different elements of it. But for the basic things that you do in a live stream, it works really well. But the reason that we chose it is not because of the simplicity or not because of how good it was. The reason I chose it in the first place is it is one of the only tools that allows us to schedule multiple streams at the same time. With most live streaming apps, you can schedule to go to Facebook or you can schedule to go to YouTube, but you can't schedule to go to both. So you'd schedule to go to one, and then you'd use a tool like Restream in order to split the feed. Because right now we have 37 people watching on Facebook, a minimum of 37. I don't know about what's happening in watch parties as well. But we have 149 people on our little YouTube channel, and this is my B channel. This is not the main Dotto Tech channel. This is you all know this is kind of my vlogging channel that we've kind of focused a lot of the Gray Matters content on. So those are the two channels that we've chosen to broadcast to. But if I wanted to also say broadcast to the main YouTube channel, I could do that as well. But I couldn't schedule it using another tool. With StreamYard, you can schedule to multiple channels, meaning that you can have, you all receive some notification either in Facebook or in YouTube that Steve Dotto and Dotto Tech is going live at XYZ time, so people could plan it, and we could send out an email to our list to promote it because we know what the URL is going to be. We know where it is. We can drive people directly to that. I'm not a big fan of doing live streaming video without intent, just starting just popping up and without having let people know that you're going to be going live, just starting to go live. It's just, I just don't see the point in it. I think people have to come with intent to watch, not stumble across it by accident for the most part. So that's what StreamYard gives us. Ecamm doesn't currently give us that ability. Now, Ecamm is a switching tool on the Mac, which is far more robust. It gives us far more options as far as bringing in different guests and bringing in different elements and composing and having a green screen behind us and having all sorts of kind of advanced switching features. By switching features, I'm talking about replacing the main unit when you're doing a live television broadcast, which is called a switcher, which determines what source is being fed to the live feed at any one time. Like a live television football game or baseball game or hockey game, one of the coolest jobs in the entire thing is the switcher operator. It's somebody that sits at this big ass board, and a director says take one, and so he takes camera one and he goes go to ISO 2, and you go to ISO 2, and then they bring in the graphics and they drop the graphics in and they say let's go to the replay, and he pulls up the replay, and so the switcher gets to choose what source is being broadcast out to the television show. These tools recreate that in software for us. StreamYard, very basic, very simple switcher, allowing us to have a couple of different forms. I can now go to just me on camera, or I can go to Liz and I on camera with a tight shot, or Liz and I on camera with a long shot, or I can bring in the graphic. I can take in and out your graphics. I've got control over all of that. Pretty cool, eh? Ecamm does the same, but it does even more and allows you to do even more, kind of add even more functionality. But the key is it doesn't allow us currently to schedule to multiple platforms. Once Ecamm allows us to schedule to multiple platforms, I believe we will move back to it. But in the meantime, I got to tell you, I'm really happy with StreamYard. Really happy with it. That was a long answer. I hope it was interesting.
So for whatever reason, because it's on YouTube, we're on the Steve Dotto channel going live, but I'm logged in as Dotto Tech. So I'm going to put my email for all our friends on YouTube that want the link for InVideo because the link's not showing to them. So
I can do it. I can put it in. Yeah, just give me in private chat and I'll copy it in because I can paste it.
Okay.
So just drop it to me there. And I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the limitation. So I'm surprised that it must be how you.
Well, I think it's because I'm as Dotto Tech and I'm not as you, Steve Dotto, logged into the channel. So
That's
for
learning
next
curve.
time, I'll make sure that I log in as Steve Dotto on the
So
channel.
tell me if everybody got this. Everybody should have gotten that. Does that look like it came through as a link in YouTube? It does, doesn't it?
It definitely is. Sorry about that, guys. I can't. It to me on my side, it looks like it went through. So
yeah,
yep,
that's one of the limitations of all of these apps right now,
thanks
as
for
far
your
as live
patience.
streaming, is it would be great to have a producer in the room with the host. But with with both Ecamm and StreamYard right now, I have to be the person. I wonder if we could connect you through a loop.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is I'm on StreamYard with Steve on this screen, and then I have Facebook Live open and YouTube Live open. So I'm kind of.
What we should try, April, and it'll be totally. It could just crash and burn horribly, but maybe next week, or no, we'll try it out privately ourselves. Let's try using Zoom remote access live. So you would be on in a Zoom call.
Yep.
Managing it with me. So we'd have to have Zoom. You'd have to have your camera turned off in Zoom, but have remote access to my computer screen. And then I can just sit back and you can be going through, because I have to be able to do a few things. But with the Zoom remote access, either person can move the mouse, right?
Right. I could move the mouse, and I just wouldn't have any other because of the bandwidth. I would just make sure I was just doing that. Yeah.
Yeah,
we could try it.
We'll try and
make it a lot
MacGyver
easier. That I can tell you.
We'll have to see if it works or not. Terry's asking if you need a coupon code. Is it there? Do we need one?
No, it's the link. There's no coupon code. It should automatically pull it out at the checkout.
Yeah, at checkout it should. If not, drop us a note and we'll reach out to the guys at there as well. So there we go. No apologies needed. You both do an amazing job. Thank you so much, Faith. We appreciate that. There was a mentioning of a session coming up on Zapier. Where is that going to be? I will put in a link to that right here so that it appears in both. There it is. So that's a link to our upcoming webinar Wednesday, which is going to be next Wednesday, this coming Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be hosted by the lovely and talented April. She's going to be doing the tutorial on it, since she does all of our system stuff as far as that goes.
So I'm going to put this in the private chat for YouTube, because they can't see my email address when I post it. If they run into an issue with InVideo.
Oh, if there's any issues with it? Okay.
Yeah, they can email me.
So I will copy that and I will put, do you want that public?
My email address?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Well, it's this one. There we go.
As long as they're kind emails, of course, friends.
Thank you, Dale. We appreciate it. This is fun. I'm starting to like these live streams more.
So it's showing at $20 a month. Is that 60% off?
Yeah, that's off of the pro version, I think.
Yeah.
If I take, let me just take a look here. Yes, the normal price is $60 a month
For InVideo?
Yes, I think
that's for the that's all the bells and whistles.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But I think it takes it off the smaller versions too.
Yeah, yeah.
It depends which one you sign up for. So I'm pretty sure it will take it off other packages as well.
So if there are any questions about the pricing, drop April a note. She will loop in our friends at InVideo. They're in Mumbai, so it might take them a little while to respond, but they're pretty good. They actually have 24/7 support, which is pretty amazing.
I don't think they actually sleep.
I don't think they do. They do. Oh, there it is. Welcome aboard. PF Warrior says he bought it and the transaction was successful. There it goes. Excellent. Good stuff. Well, that's it. Let's wrap things up. Let's let everybody get on with their weekend. Did you enjoy this today? Was it fun?
This was fun. Yeah. It was interesting to see your order of top 5 content, your favorite content apps, because I think I was shocked Evernote was not higher. I could see Screenflow and the Bitmoji. I definitely was surprised that was on your.
Yeah, it makes me happy.
Well, yeah, and I know it does. Like I said, I feel like every time you put one there, you chuckle.
Yes, I do. I do. I have fun. Because I'm a little bit of a disturber. You know what I mean? I didn't. There was a couple of honorable mentions that I didn't get to, such as Hindenburg Composer, which I'm using for creating the podcast, and others. But when I really thought the 5 tools that make a difference for us, those were the ones. And so now you know as well. Hey, everybody, thanks so much. Have a great weekend. I hope that you are all, kind of coping as well as you can. Stay safe. Don't get too antsy. Let's stay ahead of this thing, and let's all keep the world a safer place. We care about you deeply. We have a wonderful community. To all our patrons, thank you so much for your support. And we'll see you next week. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, and happy Mother's Day to all the. I know Mother's Day is different in different countries. Here in the U.S., happy
it's Mother's Day here.
to all the moms, caregivers, and all that you do, and all, of course, our amazing healthcare workers and first responders.
There he is. Okay, April, thank you as usual.
Hi, guys. Thank
Everybody,
you.
Awesome community as usual. We will see you next time. Till then, have fun storming a castle.
Bye, guys.